Good afternoon. Please remain standing for the national anthem.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Please be seated. Good afternoon, and welcome to the commencement ceremony for the 2016 graduating class of the University of Idaho College of Law. My name is Mark Adams, and it's my pleasure to serve as the Dean of the College. This ceremony occurs in the 107th year of the college's existence, and it's one of the happiest days of the academic calendar. In fact, last December, shortly before our commencement ceremony in Boise, a friend asked me, "What's your favorite day of the year?" Upon hearing that question, like many of you, I thought about birthdays, anniversaries, Thanksgiving, and for me, the opening day of the baseball season. Yet upon reflection, I realized that commencement is one of my favorite days of the year, a time for us to celebrate a distinct accomplishment by very special individuals, reflect upon the challenges that have been overcome, and especially thank those who have helped us along on our journeys. The recognition that the graduates received today reflects a hard-won accomplishment. I hope that you graduates, as well as your family and supporters, take the time to celebrate your accomplishment. This is a very special achievement. With your graduation today, you become part of the history and indeed the future of the College of Law, joining a legacy extending over 100 years of a commitment to service, the highest standards of professionalism, and preservation of the rule of law. Today is a time not only to celebrate, but also to be grateful. Be grateful for the gifts you have received, the successes you have achieved, and especially for the many people who have helped you along on your journey to reach this special day. Many of those people are here today. Please join me in welcoming and thanking the family, friends, and supporters who have joined the celebration today. Allow me now to introduce the university leaders who are present on the platform, along with some very special guests. I'll ask them to stand for a moment as I call their names, and then I'll ask you to join me in recognizing them after all of them have been introduced. With us today are Chuck Staben, President of the University of Idaho, John Winsick, Provost for Academic Affairs at the university, and Heather Chernick, University Registrar. Also joining us are special guests. They are the Honorable Michael W. Mossman, Chief Judge for the U.S. District Court for the District of Oregon, and today's commencement speaker. The Honorable Candy Dale, United States Magistrate Judge for the District of Idaho, a U of I Law alumna, and recipient of the Faculty Award of Legal Merit. And third, John Ford Elsasser Jr., a UI Law alumnus and University of Idaho Hall of Fame 2016 honoree. Ford was inducted into the University Hall of Fame at a ceremony held yesterday afternoon in recognition for achieving national distinction by his accomplishments in leadership. He is a nationally recognized bankruptcy attorney and has made an impact on several generations of bankruptcy attorneys through his work at the College of Law as an adjunct professor and a longtime coach and advisor and supporter of our award-winning bankruptcy moot court team. Would you please join me in recognizing these leaders of the university and the legal profession and thanking them for joining us today. Now I have the honor of introducing my colleagues, the members of the law faculty and JD staff who are on the platform today. I'm proud to call them my colleagues. I'm especially proud for many reasons, but especially for their dedication to our students. I'll ask them to stand as I read their names alphabetically and then ask you in the audience to recognize them after they've all been introduced. Professor Mark Anderson, Professor Ben Beard, Professor Liz Brandt, Professor Anne-Marie Brighty, Professor Don Burnett, Professor Barbara Cousins, Professor Benjamin Cover, Professor and Law Library Director Helene Davis, Associate Dean and Professor Jeff Dodge, Assistant Dean for Career Development Anne-Marie Fulfer, Professor Ruth Funabicki, Professor Sarah Hahn, Professor Brooke Hardy, Professor Maureen Laughlin, Director of Academic Success Nancy Lubert, Professor Catherine McFarland, Professor Deborah McIntosh, Professor John Miller, Assistant Dean for External Relations Terry Muse, Professor David Pimentel, Professor Christina Pollard, Professor Sunil Ramalingam, Professor John Ramel, Professor Christina Running, Associate Dean and Professor Richard Seaman, and Director of Admissions Carol Wells. Joining me also on the platform are three members of the class of 2016. I'll ask them to stand alphabetically and then recognize them also after I've introduced these individuals. First, Patrick Fackrell, this year's recipient of the Faculty Award of Legal Achievement. Bonnie Groller, this year's winner of the Spirit of the Class Award. And Linda Wells, Student Bar Association President for 2015 and 2016. Please join me in welcoming the faculty, JD staff, and the students. Finally, please join me in thanking the members of the College of Law staff who've worked hard and indeed are working right now to make this wonderful ceremony an occasion to remember. They are Anne-Marie Fulfer, Assistant Dean for Career Development, and Christy Becker, Assistant to the Career Development and Academic Success Directors and Special Events Coordinator. It is now my distinct pleasure and honor to introduce the President of the University of Idaho, Dr. Chuck Staben.
Dean Adams, faculty, honored guests, parents and families, friends, we thank you for joining us. Welcome to Idaho's leading national research university. Our historic home campus here in Moscow bustles with tradition and with the vitality of new projects, ambitious institutional goals, and of course, a student body forging a better future for themselves, for the university, and for the world. For more than 125 years, the University of Idaho has shaped the future through transformative education, through discovery and innovation in ideas that matter, and through dynamic engagement with industry and communities across Idaho and beyond. Our College of Law graduates join that tradition of excellence and contribute to our forward-looking mission. That mission has its roots in our land-grant history. As Idaho's land-grant institution, we have a special responsibility to enhance the lives of the citizens of Idaho and to serve the entire state in many ways. We take that entire part of the mission seriously, serving every county in Idaho and also our Indian reservations. That statewide engagement reaches from north to south and east to west. The College of Law is an excellent representative of the breadth and depth of our university's impact. That impact finds shape in scholarly work that matters, in service to communities, and in outcomes for students that distinguishes our university and sets the course for the great lives of our graduates. As graduates, you will join the ranks of our distinguished alumni and help shape the future of Idaho and the world. For more than 100 years, the College of Law has produced leaders in law, in business, in public service, and more. Law graduates are leaders in their communities. This spring, the College of Law's excellence gained national notice in the pages of U.S. News & World Report, advancing 16 spots in the rankings, one of the most significant gains in the country. In addition, the College of Law was again named a top school for international law and alternative dispute resolution by Pre-Law magazine, lauded for practical training that emphasizes hands-on work. Our widely respected pro bono program continues to demonstrate the law school's commitment to serving communities and improving access to justice. In Boise, the Idaho Law and Justice Learning Center opened its doors as a new landmark on the landscape of legal education, a home for our second and third year program options. We look forward to the adoption of a first-year option in Boise in 2017, a move that will round out our commitment to a robust dual-location program that effectively serves Idaho from the state's capital to our historic home here on the Palouse. The future looks very bright indeed for the College of Law. I thank you graduates for contributing to that success. Your talent, passion, and hard work have helped our College of Law continue to excel and allowed the entire university to benefit. Each of you has completed a long journey. While we facilitated that journey with opportunities and with faculty at the leading edge of their disciplines and staff members who care, your success is a testament to your ability and effort. You may have had setbacks, experienced frustration, and even failure. Achievement is not a path marked on either side by convenient success and easy accolades. The trials inherent in any experience are where we learn and where we rise up to become our better selves. Wherever you go in life, take the lessons of perseverance, of grit, and determination with you. The world needs people who don't give up. It needs people who have confidence and courage. The world needs people who are brave and bold, and in short, therefore, the world needs vandals. Very few of us make it to where we want to be in life without the help of others. Many of you have made it here today with the help and encouragement of a support system, parents, family, spouses, children, and friends. Those dedicated people have helped you become your best. To that support network, I offer my sincere thanks and appreciation. And on behalf of all the graduates and the faculty and staff at the University of Idaho, I invite all parents, grandparents, guardians, families, loved ones, and friends to stand and be recognized by us and by the graduates. That's pretty much everybody but the graduates. Come on, stand up. Thank you very much. Graduates, just a few final words from me. I know this is an exciting time for you. Your future is yours to shape. Please stay open to new ideas. Seek new information and explore new concepts. Engage the world with enthusiasm and interest. The Vandal family will be here to support you, and I hope you will always consider the University of Idaho home. Congratulations, and go Vandals.
Thank you, President Staben. Virtually all of our graduates today will become members of a state bar association. As law students, they are represented at the College of Law by the Student Bar Association. The Student Bar Association strongly influences the quality of our College of Law community by representing and advocating for students' concerns and interests. The 2015-2016 president of the SBA is Linda Wells, who will make remarks on behalf of the class and introduce our commencement speaker. I now invite Linda Wells to the podium.
Good afternoon, class of 2016. Reflection is an important part of our profession, and in doing so, I ask us to reflect on those reasons today as we celebrate the close of our law school careers, of why we chose to come to law school, and to imagine those people we wanted to help and those dreams that we kept close to our hearts. We reflect on our first days of law school, how excited and nervous we were to speak, how ready we were to prove ourselves. I volunteered on the first day of class, and immediately realized it was a horrible mistake. I did learn my lesson, though, after being called on every day for the next 6 weeks, or until our class started to get the answers right. And I think it may be fitting that while I was the first to speak, I am honored to be the last one. In the reflection, I would like to share something today that I read even before I got my acceptance letter and before our dreams were tangible. In doing so, I would like to share a Kafkaesque tale. I will say that not everyone enjoys Kafka for fun, and especially those who had to dissect his work in criminal law these past 2 years. However, his words did stick with me, and this parable I would like to share is called Before the Law. It comes from the work from the trial, which in its original German translates to mean der Prozess, or the process. And this is something we should all keep in mind, is that the law is a process. Getting there is a process. And the parable goes a little something like this. Before the law is a doorkeeper, and a man from the country comes to the city to seek access to the door of the law. The doorkeeper says, "It's possible to enter, but not at present." And the guard warns him that even if he does make it past this door, there are many more other doors beyond, with more fearsome guards and obstacles. The man believes that everyone should have access to the law, so he waits patiently and decides he will wait for permission to enter. Every day he asks questions and tries his best to persuade the guard, but on each closing day he is no closer to gaining access to the gate. He tries every tactic in the books. Years pass, and as he waits, towards the end of his life, the old man asks the guard one question he had not yet tried. Surely everyone reaches the law, and after all this time, how is it I was never able to get past this gate? And the guard answers, no one else could ever been granted admission here because this gate was especially designed for you. We have all met this door in some sort of calling to go to it, but it has been a process. It has been a challenge, and it has not been an easy one. I can compare this gate to our current situations. It seems that we've been detained at this gate for the last 3 years. Some students counted down the days to graduation, and some people just stuck their nose to the grindstone and worked until we got our release date, wondering if it would ever arrive. Unfortunately, when that date did arrive, we noticed some changes. When they said we could get past, they handed us back our clothes, and we found that our pants no longer fit. And which we all know, for suiting purposes, this is devastating. And we wonder, is someone going to be picking us up? Do we get $5 for a cab? Will someone lead us to the next gate? And while much uncertainty looms, we remember that we have to, all of the things we've accomplished, and we have to celebrate. And in celebrating, we thank those gatekeepers and gate facilitators. We thank those family members, and we thank all of those who have been our friends, and even those that we lost along the way. Thank you so much for helping us succeed and demanding more to prove ourselves. Either way, we have a small time before our next gate arrives, and I don't even have to say it because I see weird shudders happen every time I mention the bar. But whether your gates or doors have changed in the way they look, we're all going to different ones. So to those going into the public sector or private practice, or those who will be practicing golf under the guise of transactional work, I would like to say, remember to reflect, and remember everything is a process, whichever way your gate leads you. I wish you all the best. Next, I would like to introduce our speaker, the Honorable Michael W. Mossman. He's a chief judge for the U.S. District Court for the District of Oregon, and Judge Mossman's career has ranged, spanning from clerking for the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia to clerking for Justice Lewis Powell of the Supreme Court. He's also been in private practice and public practice as an assistant U.S. attorney that involved complex litigation, international fraud, and money laundering, and he also was a U.S. attorney. To add to the list of his amazing accomplishments, he was appointed to the bench in 2003, and most recently in 2013, he was appointed to the Foreign Service Intelligence Court. So please give a warm welcome to our speaker, Judge Mossman.
I'd like to thank the University of Idaho and the School of Law for the opportunity to be here today and to come to this beautiful place. I'd like to congratulate you graduates for the end of a long road. It took a lot of hard work. Way to go. Great work. You have family here. I also have family here today. You know, I've met a lot of lawyers in my life, great lawyers from all around the world. And the lawyer I respect the most is here, my own younger brother, Wynn. And so I appreciate that support. This feedback makes me feel just a little bit like the Wizard of Oz, so if a balloon floats down later, that'll be my cue to exit. The classic commencement speech is a riff on the theme of don't give up on your dreams. And it's easy to see why that's a popular theme as I look out on an audience of bright, hard-working, motivated young people. But of course, the answer to the question, should I ever give up on my dreams, like all law school questions, is it depends. If your dream is to build a successful career in the law, then by all means don't give up, at least not yet. But if your dream is to sit on a throne in your office made from the bones of your enemies, or to buy all your friends tickets to Hamilton while still paying off your student loans, then please give up now. We can put the advice on dreams in the general category of how to succeed in life. And when I was younger, that's the advice I sought, how to be a big success. Now, with the gift of experience, I'm equally interested in the flip side, how not to fail. Don't get me wrong, I hope you're all big successes in law and life. That's your upside potential, your ceiling. Today I want to talk about your foundation, your floor. So I've entitled my remarks, How Not to Be Stupid. Now you might think, how dare he? Didn't he just say we were bright and hardworking? Why does he think we might mess up our lives doing something stupid? In my defense, I do have a variation of the young boy's gift in the movie The Sixth Sense. I see stupid people everywhere, and they don't even know they're stupid. It's true that you all, and lawyers generally, are really smart people, but it's been my sad experience that lawyers make stupid mistakes at about the same rate as everybody else, only with greater collateral damage. So here we go. 4 ways not to be stupid. 1, don't be corrupted by power. I'm guessing very few speakers are talking today to engineering grads or communication majors or RNs about the corruptions of power. But you have to think about it as lawyers because you'll have power. You'll learn people's darkest secrets. You'll have the power to end marriages, break up companies, send people to prison. In fact, a mere letter from you can ruin someone's life. So yes, you'll have power. And getting and keeping power can be corrupting. It's critical to decide in advance how you'll respond. I've often thought we should ask presidential candidates early on, what will you not do to become president? What matters to you more than being president? Chuck Colson, counsel to President Nixon, was alleged to have said that he would run over his own grandmother to get Nixon reelected. His single-minded devotion to power eventually landed him in prison. How about you? What will you not do to get the power and prestige and money of a successful law career? What's non-negotiable with you? Will you neglect your family? Will you lie about discovery or tell the judge a phony excuse for why your pleading is late? Will you turn a blind eye to your client's falsehoods? Will you make up fake reasons for using peremptory challenges on minority panel members? And on and on. Decide now, as lawyers say, ex ante, what you won't do, what price you won't pay. This brings to mind Lord Acton's famous aphorism that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. But corrupts whom? Of course it corrupts the person at the top, but that's too obvious. What's really concerning is the corrupting influence power has on everybody circling around the center of power. It's easy to see among presidential campaigns the fake enthusiasm, the lying and hypocrisy, the shifting alliances. But you'll see it in less lofty settings, the corruption of power around a powerful senior partner or prosecuting attorney, or important client, or yes, even a judge. It starts with sycophancy and ends with sickness. It begins with laughing at jokes you don't like and ends with betraying your deepest principles. 2 stories illustrate in very small ways how standing up early on in your career can help set a tone for your career. I know a guy who was once a very young prosecutor. The head of the office was an intimidating, imperious man with a quick temper. He'd become upset the state bar was investigating a local DA for misconduct, so he sent a memo around requesting donations to the DA's defense fund. And then he sent his top assistant around to collect the money. This young prosecutor was sympathetic to the cause, but objected quite rightly to being forced to donate. As he tells it, he gave the money with a note to the boss that said, "I'm happy to give, but I think it's wrong that you forced people to give." You might think this is a small thing. I suppose it is. But in fact, it was a big step, putting him on a path of independence and fortifying him to stand up for himself in bigger tests down the line. When I was a young prosecutor, just a couple of weeks on the job, it came my turn to handle emergency weekend requests. This included whether to authorize warrantless probable cause searches. I got a call from the regional head of the FBI who told me he had a team of agents poised outside a motel near the freeway and a major drug distribution ring inside. And what he needed from me was a green light, which he was sure I'd give him. I heard him out, and what little I knew about probable cause didn't fit what he was telling me. But I was honestly intimidated, partly from my own inexperience and partly because he was the sort of person who tended to ruin people's lives who got in his way. I told him I'd call him back later, which was enough to really annoy him. After I hung up, I wasn't sure what to do. Really, I was trying to come up with the guts to do the right thing. I immediately got another phone call, this time from a line agent who later became a good friend of mine. He'd snuck around behind the SWAT van, and he whispered to me over the phone, "I can tell you think there isn't probable cause. You're right. Tell him no." That was all it took to set me straight. I said no and weathered the subsequent storm. And like the guy in the first story, it put me on a path of having the courage to give the right answer, Ruat Kailam, no matter what. You can do the same. Put it in your minds now before you're on the phone with someone who wants the wrong answer and will make you pay a price for denying him, that you'll not bow to power. Number 2, make peace with money. It was Justice Rehnquist who said that early in their careers, lawyers learn they can exchange their time for money, but eventually must learn they can exchange their money for time. There may be no getting around the fact that success in law, at least initially, demands long, hard hours. Certainly, I saw more than a few sunrises after a night at the office getting ready for trial. Because you'll be billing by the hour, the temptation will be to measure everything accordingly. I know lawyers who readily calculate what lunch with a friend or attending a kid's soccer game will cost them in billable hours. To make matters worse, you may be surrounded by people with more money than you. Entrepreneurial clients who took a gamble and won, older lawyers with higher billing rates, or classmates who hit it big with a contingent fee case. So you'll have to decide whether money is going to be something you control or controls you. This isn't the occasion for advice on keeping a budget or living within your means, although I will say that conspicuous consumption seems to be an occupational hazard with lawyers. But you're listening to a man who drives a 1998 Chevy pickup to work, so perhaps I'm biased. Instead, my main message on money is this: make peace with the amount of money your law practice reasonably brings you. There's a whole world full of joy that doesn't turn on you being rich. I just had the privilege of speaking at the centennial of the James Redden Courthouse in Medford, Oregon. James Redden, now in his late 80s, was there, along with many of his friends and former law partners. They'd done various things, some lifelong lawyers, a few judges, a former attorney general. All had been successful. None were what we would call wealthy. But what they lacked in yachts and planes, they made up for in hilarious memories, 60-year friendships, grateful clients, and adoring grandkids. I had to be taught to make peace with money. For a long time, I complained about our too small house, our older cars. My wife finally told me, "You chose public service. You chose this salary, so quit complaining about it." And she was right. If you work hard and care about your clients, plenty of money will eventually come your way. Leave it at that and focus on all the other things that make life worth living. Number 3, keep learning. On this subject, I have some good news and bad news. Here's the good news. After you take the bar exam, you will never have to take another test in your life. You've reached the pinnacle of a doctorate degree in the American Academy. Here's the bad news. When it comes to the law, you know almost nothing, as you're about to discover. But the good news comes back around again. This gives you the opportunity to embark on a lifetime of learning. Perhaps your experience will be like mine. I'm deeply grateful for my formal education, but almost everything of value I learned since I turned 30. Of course, your first postgraduate area of learning will be the law. It will take you years of study to become truly knowledgeable in some area of the law and years of practice to acquire the skills that you'll need. But don't worry, unlike a graded exam, you'll be highly motivated to learn, because if you don't, you'll starve. You may get an added boost of motivation from one of your opponents. A senior lawyer I know once objected to a document being offered by a rookie lawyer as a business record. The objection was improper foundation, which was sustained. The rookie tried again and got the same objection and the same ruling. After a third try and a third objection, the judge said, "Counsel, you know this can ultimately be admitted." To which the senior lawyer responded, "Judge, I know how to get this in, and you know how to get this in. The question is, does he?" If that won't send you back to your evidence casebook with renewed enthusiasm for the subject, I don't know what will. But you'll learn much more than just hornbook law. Your clients will teach you about themselves, about their businesses and inventions, and about life. They'll appreciate a lawyer who takes the time to understand them and learn their situation. In addition, for many of you, your cases will put you at the intersection of law and public policy. So you'll have the opportunity to think and study about environmental issues, or the costs and benefits of collective bargaining, or how tort cases relate to risk management, or what is a fair and just sentence for someone whose life has had no fairness and precious little justice. I hope the prospect of all this learning excites you. You'll be a better lawyer and a happier person if you dig in and keep learning. Number 4, 2 cheers for thinking like a lawyer. We don't talk as much as we once did about thinking like a lawyer, I suppose from fear of sounding elitist. But if you've been paying attention, law school has given you a marvelous tool for separating fact from fiction, or at least from the unknown, and for focusing on what matters most in a mass of information. To oversimplify, it involves questioning assumptions, defining terms, and asking how or whether people really know what they claim to know. Far too many lawyers, however, use this tool to become a tool. It's a great way to test whether a witness really remembers what happened, or whether an expert really knows what she claims. But it's a terrible way to show the weaknesses in your child's political views, or to test whether your spouse's complaints against you are internally coherent. Thinking like a lawyer is just one way to see the world. Stating your arguments better than your loved ones doesn't make you right. It just means you use one skill better. I've had lawyers respond to me after some Pyrrhic victory in a family fight that I was just going by what he or she said. Well, as long as we're questioning assumptions, let's ask, why is that a good way to interact with friends or loved ones? Why go by what they said instead of what they meant or felt? I hope you'll never have the experience I have had of a daughter saying to you, "Dad, I can't talk with you because I feel trapped by your arguments." There are a lot of ways I could describe how that felt. Winning isn't one of them. The idea of thinking about how we know things at a broader level is really a branch of metaphysics called epistemology. I'm indebted to Professor Tyler Cowen for what he calls the central lesson of epistemology, which is that, quote, "You are wrong so often. It is a lesson which hardly anybody ever learns," close quote. But you can learn it in your lifetime of learning. A law school education should give you the same thing that an afternoon with Socrates would give you: humility in the face of an awareness of all that you don't know. I'm surprised there aren't more humble lawyers, since the law is practically a study in human weakness, and only willful blindness will exempt you and me from the lesson. Humility also happens to be the key to continuing to learn, humility and a hunger to know more. Try to remember then that what really happened to you today is that you became a human being with a law degree. You didn't become a lawyer as though that degree completely defined you. Don't lose that humanity. I think that's what the great learned hand was expressing when he talked about the spirit of liberty. The spirit of liberty is the spirit which is not too sure that it is right, he said. The spirit of liberty is the spirit which seeks to understand the minds of other men and women. The spirit of liberty is the spirit which weighs their interests alongside his own without bias. The spirit of liberty remembers that not even a sparrow falls to the earth unheeded. The spirit of liberty is the spirit of him who taught that there may be a kingdom where the least shall be heard and considered side by side with the greatest. There's a just cause for your newly minted law degree. Don't be too sure you're right. Seek to understand others and weigh their interests without bias. Try to create a nation where everyone can have a voice and be heard. Along the way, don't give in to power. Don't worry too much about money, and don't stop learning. If you do that, you'll be a big success. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Judge Bossman, and we do have a small gift for you. Thank you. Thank you very much for your kind words. Appreciate it. It's now my pleasure to present the Faculty Award of Legal Merit. The Faculty Award of Legal Merit recognizes the outstanding contribution of an Idaho law graduate whose career exemplifies the best in the legal profession. The award is determined by a vote of the faculty and is based on an individual's integrity, competence, service, and leadership through work as a legal practitioner, service to the legal profession, service to the community, or service to business, state, and national interest. Judge Candy Dale was appointed United States Magistrate Judge for Idaho in 2008 after having been a trial lawyer in Idaho for 25 years. She served as a Chief Magistrate Judge from October of 2008 until September of 2015. Judge Dale has served the College of Law as a guest lecturer, a mentor in our professionalism orientation program for incoming law students, and as a member and chair of the College of Law Advisory Council. In 2014, she received the Justice for All Award from the Idaho State Bar Diversity Section, and in 2010, she received the Kate Feltham Award from the Idaho Women Lawyers. Judge Dale exemplifies the best in the legal profession, and we are proud to honor her this year with the Faculty Award of Legal Merit. Judge Dale, please come forward to accept the College of Law Faculty Award of Legal Merit. The next award is the Faculty Award of Legal Achievement. This award is given each year to the graduating law student who has earned the highest cumulative grade point average as of the last graded semester. This year, the award goes to Patrick Fackrell, who after accepting the award will in turn present the Peter E. Heiser Award. Patrick.
Wow, well, Dean Adams, thank you very much. I'm very grateful to be here, and I'd first like to thank my friends and my family for all their support throughout law school. I would also like to extend a huge thank you to our outstanding faculty at the College of Law. All of us, we as the class of 2016, have been especially privileged to be empowered by our faculty's mentorship and instruction the past 3 years. As an extension of this gratitude, we, as the class of 2016, have selected one of you to receive the Award for Excellence in Teaching in honor of the late Professor Peter E. Heiser. Please join me in congratulating Professor Wendy Gerwick-Kuchar.
This morning, all degrees that have been completed through formal study, except for the Juris Doctor degree, were conferred upon the candidates. Now, will the candidates for the degree Juris Doctor please stand? The degree Juris Doctor is awarded upon the successful completion of 3 years of rigorous postgraduate study of law. This degree entitles the holder to take the bar exam in any state in the Union. Degrees will be conferred on all candidates present at these exercises, as well as upon all absentees who have been duly excused. President Staben, these candidates are recommended by their faculty to receive the University of Idaho Juris Doctor degree.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of the University of Idaho, I hereby confer upon each of you the degree Juris Doctor with all its rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities, in testimony whereof you will receive the diploma of the University of Idaho. Congratulations.
Austin Orm Allen. Jack E. Ambrose. Stephen Atwell Atkinson. Kyle Eric Bastian. Lindsay Nicole Bedient. Andrew Warlick Betson. Ryan Michael Black. Dennis Colton Boyles. Brian Henry Buck. Maria C. Caballero. James Poe Dahl. Yuridia Ikiwa. Austin Jeffrey Freitas. Kendra D. Getz. Zachary Joseph Goitowski. Katie Marie Hendricks. Spencer N. Herbert. Brandon P. Holt. Caitlin Rose Herlock. Sarah Ann Duggan Yons. Theodore H. Jeckering. Grant V. Jepson. Luis Adon Jimenez. Patrick Bartholomew Johnson. Gregory Koshkin. Justin Reed Cover. Ravim Kuznetsov, summa cum laude. Lauren Teresa Levine. Sandra D. Lockett, cum laude. George Luong. Callie Ann Madsen. Natalie Magana III. Jamie L. Matier. Danielle Jean Mayberry. Vanessa Montoya. Brianna L. Murphy. Chike Obuehi. Jason Lawrence Oliver, summa cum laude. Shelby Kate Owens. Stephen Drew Parkinson. Jason B. Perryman. Reed Kermit Peterson. Alexander Phillips Hatter. Beck C. Roan, magna cum laude. Anya Renee Rodriguez. Stephanie Ann Russell. Keith Patrick Scholl. Christopher James Schrett. Catherine Ann Sharp. Leanne Ming Yi St. Clair. Corey R. Stegelmeyer, summa cum laude. Mitchell S. Thackeray. Laura Marie Todd. Trey Douglas Turner. Cade W. Whitney. Bailey James Wilcox. Patrick Fackrell, summa cum laude. Bonnie Carol Groller. Linda E. Wells.
Good team.
Give our graduates just a moment to return to their seats. So I'd like to acknowledge and thank the faculty and Juris Doctor staff at the University of Idaho College of Law. Would all our faculty and staff, Juris Doctor staff, please stand and be recognized. Thank you all for your work and dedication to the University of Idaho. Dean Adams, would you return to the podium and we'll have your closing remarks.
Thank you, President Staben. This time, I would like to ask all University of Idaho College of Law alumni who are here today to please rise and welcome our newest members. And now, would all University of Idaho alumni please rise and join in the welcome. Thank you. Please be seated. As we reach the end of this ceremony, I would like to again thank our commencement speaker, the Honorable Michael Mossman, and also recognize the Honorable Candy Dale and Fordell Sasser for their extraordinary service to the college and the legal profession. I also wish to welcome our graduates to the Vandal family. As with other families, not necessarily all of them, but with many of them, we ask that you please keep in touch and share your accomplishments in our noble profession. We eagerly look forward to honoring you for your service at a future ceremony. After the singing of our alma mater, we ask that you remain seated until both the platform party and the graduates have recessed. After those two groups have recessed, we invite everyone to join us at a reception out on the floor of the Kibbe Dome behind you. Now I would like to invite everyone to please rise for the singing of the alma mater chorus. You will find the words in your program.